You have put out a plate of food for the night every evening since Jeroen and Andakai joined you on your journey, but still none of you have seen him eat. Andakai is sitting not far from the giant, studying the books. She looks up at you.
You think I will stay and fight if there is a spell in the books that...
Yours is the god of balance. Don't you see it as your duty to create a balance between light and dark?
Instead of answering, Andakai rubs her eyes and closes the book. Disgruntled, you watch the Mager as she walks over to her bed for the night. Your eyes fall upon Jeroen. You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday, the nearer you get to the oasis, the more...
This whole thing is probably a...
Welcome to Pasna. I'm sure...
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sintharas. So we meet again, Tungdil.
An eerie smile sets on Sintharas's lips.
Huh? Oh, what bad luck for you! And what now?
Yes, understood. At once.
What is it?
Huh? On my way. At once.
Huh? Of course! What is it? Huh? Say goodbye forever! On my way! What is it?
Uh-huh.
Huh? What is it? With...
Huh? Understood.
And what now? Yes? Retreat! Back! Why are you fighting against us? You're the son of Samusin. You should have nothing to do with this unworthy.
I've had enough.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert.
The longer we talk about it, the later.
You've been traveling through the desert for days. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's death. In front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadow. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well, before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagard, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitor.
Yes, right. Exactly.
I do not recognize you, King Gandagard, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your... or is someone giving you...
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious Impossible!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition.
My High King! You cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new...
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you.
Ah!
Heir apparent?
A slight expression of guilt flits briefly across Boindill's face. Boendal nods in agreement.
As High King, you could unite the king.
I can't be High King. I got all my knowledge from books.
Just talk to
High King...
Old? He is ancient. Even by Dwarvish standard. Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fight?
The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves.
For the...
The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Fracas made us. Well, he made some of us.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we...
Tondil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the assembly to...
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vracus.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. When you are finished with your story...
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know any...
Your renouncement honors you. But to be honest, you never had a claim.
Lot Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a fourthling.
You feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom, but
What game is...
Gandagar, as king of the fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King, but his mind is poisoned with hate. I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the thirdlings. I would have...
And which role have you...
Well, with you as a second aspirant,
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were...
You don't have to win.
Belendolin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously.
Such a contest could take weeks, if not...
Why is...
His father and brother were murdered by elves.
No one knows the truth. Just as no one knows how true this report about the fifthlings is. But isn't it strange?
I understand why you want to prevent a High King Gandagar.
Gandagar's only liability is that he lets Bislipper whisper dark
A problem that I am fortunate enough not to have.
The High King smiles weakly at his advisor.
Gandagar...
What kind of contest would you have us compete in?
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper
And this only once you have made a speech and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is...
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from carrying out his plans, it could end in a fraternal war.
Don't worry. We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend. We just need time, and you must gain it for us.
All right then. I'm ready to do it.
You can be certain of it, Tungdil.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon, and she suspects that the Magus is possessed by a demon from the outer lands. It may be possible to kill this demon with an axe called Keenfire. I have commissioned armor that is worthy of a prince. It will be delivered to your chamber by sunrise.
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate, but the prospect of having to make a speech in front of the large council doesn't exactly fill you with elation.
Ah, Tungdil, what is it?
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come from either. But they only want to use me to delay Gandagar's coronation and ultimately prevent war with the elves.
Whatever happens, we will stand by your side, Scholar.
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much use in a contest with Gandagar, but it feels good not having to go through the whole thing on your own.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from barren ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of Sigurdaisy.
We are dwarves, we have the most.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you...
Do you know these
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Teal...
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by...
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and...
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a...
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but...
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't...
But...
You don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go.
A variety of cheeses...
You are looking forward to... When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
What are you doing?
Ignoring your question, Bisleypur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the count. Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom.
Proof!
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful. And what could possibly be more...
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost...
I said they are
And what if I...
You wish to stand against your own king? A stray dwarf offending a deserving leader such as Gan...
Children...
You are a dwarf, I confess.
And you know thousands of the fourthlings personally, and know exactly where they live in the mountains.
You have a sense that all the long evenings in the library and debating with Lot Yonan weren't for nothing. You have had enough of this dwarf.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which, sir, you had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up.
Not only is it worthy of a king and fits me like a glove, but
Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts.
Goren found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne, and why I...
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Bolafar. The...
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one...
Oh, I didn't know you were the spokesperson for everyone.
Absolutely.
He's right, you know.
Keep out of it, Bislipper.
Yes, the dwarf from the...
You say that a war against the elves would be madness.
It is true. And don't the elves have the same enemy as we do? They could stand by us in...
Was that it?
These are
Words of a clever warrior.
But the pointy ears hate us, and we hate them.
What is it they say again?
Yes?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book?
I have most definitely seen it. Goimgar, Yellow Belly, Shimmerbeard.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed. Many have... Those are the facts, whether you...
To act!
If the humans won't stop the parish,
We shouldn't get...
let's show the Magus the strength.
I have heard enough. The council has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. And those who wish to see... It's close, but...
Very good.
Here's to...
Long live our...
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High...
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High...
Respect! You still...
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is... an expedition.
An expedition into...
You can't be serious.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges...
Yes. Luck.